What is going on, everybody? My name is Cameron and welcome to the review for one of the biggest comic book events this year. It's Civil War 2. Now this is where it all begins in issue 1, but we did have a prologue issue which was issue 0, and you can click the top right corner of the screen now to go check that review out. It pretty much sets up this issue so you know who the characters are, etc. So I recommend you check that out. Now, Civil War 2 is going to be focusing on Iron Man and Captain Marvel going head to head against each other, and the reason for this is because of a brand new Inhuman who can see the future, such as future disasters, future crimes, etc. And Captain Marvel wants to stop those crimes, stop those disasters before they even happen. Whereas on the other side, Tony Stark, Iron Man, knows what it's like to mess with the future, so he thinks that the future should happen naturally, and then they'll deal with the consequences afterwards. To give you a little bit more of a clearer vision, I'm going to kind of explain it a little bit. So, say like you're going to murder someone in the future. Basically, Captain Marvel is going to come and arrest you before you've even thought of doing it. But the problem is that this person who can see the future only sees a possible future. So really, you may never even murder anybody, but Captain Marvel's going to arrest you anyway. It's just like Captain America said in Captain America the Winter Soldier, "I thought the punishment usually came after the crime." Okay, so hopefully you understand the basis of this event and what's kind of going to ensue within this series. But before we get into this, I need to tell you guys that I'm giving away a physical comic of this issue, and all you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and comment on this video. The winner will be announced in Civil War issue 2, and that's that. So now guys, without any further ado, it's time to jump into Civil War. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you've seen my review for Civil War issue 0, then you'll know exactly who this guy is. He is the person who can see into the future. He is the brand new Inhuman, and as you can see, he's struggling with seeing all of these future visions, but luckily the other Inhumans are here to help him, known as the Royal Family. Now what I find really interesting about this comic is that we're sort of living this comic through his eyes, from his perspective, especially because this event is all about him, but it's also because whatever he sees will come into fruition. And the only difference is he's experiencing those events now, and everybody else will experience them later. So we're joining the all new, all different Avengers. By the way guys, I am catching up on that series this week, so look out for that. But as you can see, there is this massive monster in the middle of New York. Everything is going crazy. New York looks like it's going to be obliterated. And if you saw my review for Civil War issue 0, then you would have already seen the vision from the Inhuman that saw New York obliterated, and this is them trying to stop it. I do love how the all new, all different Avengers seem like a proper family, like they can still have a little bit of humour whilst they're fighting all this craziness, but as you can see, every single person is there. You've got Spider-Man, Peter Parker, all new, all different Avengers, the Inhumans, the Ultimates, the X-Men, and pretty much anybody else that I haven't mentioned yet. So basically, every single superhero is here to stop this, and they have a plan. I would also like to address the art style of this comic is so good. It very much reminds me of Invincible Iron Man artwork, but it feels so refreshing to be able to read a series of Civil War that is really, really artistic. Like, if you remember the 2015 Civil War, I think it was, that we had recently, I didn't like the artwork in that at all. It was really grim and merged together, like there wasn't really much there, but in this it's very colourful, it's very artistic, the characters have proper outlines on them, and it looks awesome. It is beautiful and I love it. It actually kind of reminds me of the Sarah Pichelli artwork from the original Ultimate Spider-Man Miles Morales series. A little bit. I also think what's very special about what we're seeing on screen is all of the superheroes are together, fighting together, they're all friends, they're all saving civilians together, working together to take down this world-ending apocalypse monster. And the best part is that we know that all of these superheroes are going to divide into two sides, and they're all going to become enemies with whoever the other side is. And it's just so awesome to know that that is going to happen because they work so well together, so it's going to be like a family falling apart. And I cannot wait. By the way guys, as you can see, Captain America has a new costume and he now works for Hydra or something like that apparently. My review for that will be up very soon, it's just that it's sold out at my comic book store, so I kind of have to wait for him to get it in. So look out for that, it's just a heads up. Now, going into certain panel scenes and certain comic pages being very reminiscent of the movies, this particular panel that you're seeing on screen right now of the party is very reminiscent of Avengers Age of Ultron, where all the heroes have like a little bit of a party in like the Avengers Tower or whatever. And later on in the comic, towards the end, there is actually something very, very, very reminiscent from the recent Captain America Civil War movie. Now, I'm not going to say anything until we get up to that page, but it is extremely satisfying to see how it plays out. Now, as we're going through this comic, I'm kind of getting that vibe of it's the peace before the storm, like something's just going to come along and shred all these characters onto opposing teams. I'm going crazy waiting for it, I swear. Now, as for Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, and Rhodey, aka War Machine, you would have got to know those guys in Civil War issue 0 if you saw my review for that, so you'll kind of know where they are in their life in terms of like the Civil War, etc., and just in life. So if you want a little bit of a rundown, Captain Marvel is already looking for a way to stop crimes before they happen. Like, she's already looking for that. Rhodey, on the other hand, has been offered presidency. That's right, he's been offered the chance to run for president, take the president's job, because he realizes that he can't be War Machine forever. Now, She-Hulk, on the other hand, actually lost a court case, pretty much keeping an innocent man from going to jail. So that innocent guy, well, he wasn't innocent, but he already served his sentence, so he should have been able to go free, but he ended up getting put back in jail for the wrong reasons. So that's kind of impacting her already. So those three characters are already like having problems of their own in terms of looking for things like that, like having decisions to be made. And I'm pretty sure that in their lives is going to come into fruition and cause conflict in this series later on as well, which I'm looking forward to. But anyway, going back to what's on screen, the guy who can see into the future cannot have his mind read. And that actually sparks up a few questions for me and actually some scenarios like, what if this guy doesn't like these heroes and he's just like, oh yeah, let's make something up, and he just randomly makes up some random future, causing everyone to kill each other or arrest each other or something like that. Like, they would never know that he's lying. So imagine if he does something like that. I particularly love how Tony Stark is like the only sane one in this situation right now. Like, Captain Marvel straight up just offers this guy a job, and Tony Stark is like, whoa, wait a minute, bruh, wait a minute. Like, they don't actually know who this kid is properly. Now, as we get through the issue, we also discover that this kid doesn't only see the future, he experiences it. And I think that's something that adds depth to his character in this comic, mainly because these experiences will have an effect on him, because obviously it's almost like he's living these situations all the time. So this proves as to why he's a little bit timid, like he's a little bit intimidated by things, he's a little bit quiet and shy. It's because these visions are just beating him down, knocking down his confidence. And at the end of the day, he's seeing these visions and he is scared, he is terrified of what he's seeing. And there's nothing he can do about it. Well, obviously there is, like, he can change the future, but you know what I mean, there's nothing he can do to stop him seeing these things. So in a way, I kind of feel sorry for his character because he didn't ask for this. Like, it's a little bit heartbreaking, honestly. Now, going into what I'd say is the final chapter of this comic, we see Ulysses, I think that's his name, he's having what looks to be the worst vision of his entire life, what he's seen so far, screaming, shouting, hiding in the corner, and we actually never figure out what his vision is, so hopefully that's revealed in the next issue or something. But then we flip the page over, go over to Tony Stark, who's talking to Friday, and guys, yes, this is the invincible Iron Man. That is probably why I like the art so much. He's told that Rhodey is gone, and by that, Mary Jane means that Rhodey is dead. And I absolutely love Tony's reaction. He crashes into the ground of the Triskelion, the home of the Ultimates, and demands to see the body of Rhodey. You've got to remember that this is his best friend. And I think another thing is that Tony Stark kind of blames himself for this because Rhodey was asking for an upgraded suit and Tony Stark didn't give it to him. Now, I'm not saying that the upgraded suit might have saved him, but you never know. So I feel like maybe Tony Stark feels responsible for this as well, but overall it's Captain Marvel that took him into battle against Thanos. And Rhodey wasn't the only casualty. It turns out She-Hulk is badly injured as well. She's actually in a hospital bed. And the reason this has all happened is because Captain Marvel was told about the vision of the future that Ulysses had. And of course it involved Thanos, and if they didn't actually meddle with the future, if they didn't try and change it, then this would have never happened. And that is what Tony Stark is talking about when messing with the future. They tried to mess with it, so it took She-Hulk and it took Rhodey's life as well. And what I absolutely love is that this is why Tony Stark is so against meddling with... And what I absolutely love is that this is why he's so against what Captain Marvel is doing with seeing the future and trying to stop it. Because in doing so, it took his best friend. And I don't know why, but I always love it when characters react in aggressive ways, like really angry ways when one of their best friends die. Like, he's putting all of the blame on Captain Marvel, and I love how he's just like, he isn't even on your team, so why is he here? He is full on raging, and of course now he's got a personal grudge against Captain Marvel for what she's done, and this is where it all begins. And this is what I was saying about it being similar, well, very similar to Captain America Civil War, because obviously I'm not going to reveal anything because if any of you guys haven't seen it, but for you guys that have seen it, it is quite similar to Captain America Civil War with Rhodey and Iron Man and all that stuff. So It's going to be interesting to see what plays out in the end and how it's all going to play out. But you can also see on screen that She-Hulk has just passed away, and her last word was pretty much motivating Captain Marvel not to give up and fight for the future. But I think it's especially important to realise not only has Iron Man lost a friend, but now Captain Marvel has lost a friend as well, and they're technically both fighting for their friends. So Iron Man is going to be fighting for Rhodey's death and trying to stop them from altering the future, and Captain Marvel is going to be fighting to use the future for her friend She-Hulk. But that is the end of the issue, guys. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below. It is Civil War 2 issue 1, and it was absolutely amazing. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Tony Stark's reaction to Rhodey dying was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it, and I also loved the foreshadowment throughout the issue and just how it was peace before the storm. Everyone was friends, everyone teamed up together at the beginning of the issue, and by the end of the issue, everyone was divided. Very interesting to see, very entertaining, and the artwork is absolutely on point. I love it. I can't wait for the next issue. I genuinely cannot wait. But anyway, guys, don't forget about the giveaway. Leave a comment below and be a subscriber. Don't forget to comment giving me your thoughts on this issue as well. We can discuss it in the comments below. And if you like this video, then hit the like button. Go to the link in the description to follow me on Twitter to see when all the other comic book reviews are going up. And of course, comic code giveaway being giveaway on my Twitter. You can also follow me on my Facebook page to stay up to date on all the latest in comic book news and updates. And if you want more, hit the subscribe button, guys, and I'll see you all next time.